Hello and welcome to IK Talks, where we pick one department from IK and we invite a few rock stars from that department to talk to us about what they do at IK and how they are helping us make a strong impact to the lives of our customers, in our case, our students. So this is episode 3, and we have with us 3 people from the new products and curriculum teams that have helped us launch 18 new courses in the past 1 year. So, a quick round of introductions. We have Vartika here. Vartika is the curriculum product manager for IK's management courses such as engineering management, product management, and TPM, technical product program management. Sandeep is the curriculum product manager for IK systems courses such as embedded systems, cloud, and SRE. But he also heads the new products team and manages a team of curriculum product managers for our other courses. Chandan helps us craft top-notch DSA and Algo curriculum for all of IK's courses. So welcome to IK Talks, Vartika, Sandeep, and Chandan. Thanks a lot for taking the time out to do this. All right, so let us jump right away with our first question. So Sandeep, what is the new products team? It's not a very common name for a department in other companies. So can you just tell us what is the new products team and what do you guys do at IK?
Yeah, sure, Nakita. So, the curriculum product manager, as we call it in the new products team, just like any other product manager, first of all, has to have a very deep understanding of the customer, or in our case, the learner, right? And when we talk about understanding the learner, uh, the important thing to note here is that our learners come from various backgrounds. So, we have learners all the way from new college graduates to very senior folks with more than 20 years of industry experience, right? And to top that, they also come with a multitude of requirements in terms of their availability, weekly bandwidth, mock interviews, levels which they are targeting, and so on. So that's one part of the responsibility of a curriculum product manager. Now, the next part, which is equally important, is to understand the outcome. So at IK, luckily, the outcome, at least for the current set of courses, is well defined. That is, all of them need to crack tier one tech interviews. But the outcome in itself is complex in nature, right? So when we talk about tier one tech interviews, first of all, we need to understand what are the required skills for each role, what is the overall interview process, what are the different rounds, right? And on what are the questions which are asked in each round, what are the rubrics which the interviewers have set, all these things. Now you just think about doing this for every level of your domain. That is, if you consider data science as a domain, then we need to research and understand these for all the levels starting from L3 to L6 and beyond, right? So these two parts, that is understanding the learner's requirements and understanding the outcome, are, I would say, the primary responsibilities of a curriculum product manager. Now, once you have understood these, or once you have got a pretty good understanding of these two, your job is to design a product, which in our case is the curriculum, to bridge or to take the learner from where they are to their desired success, which is to crack one of these FANG level interviews, right? And for that, you need to come up with the right features. By features, again, I'm talking about the modules or the topics which need to be covered in the curriculum, along with the right pedagogy and the engagement.
All right. Thank you, Sandeep. My next question is for Chandan. So, considering that we have thousands of students relying on our curriculum, to help them get through these tough technical interviews, how does IK's curriculum team ensure top quality for the curriculum that we build? What's your unique approach to making sure that we are only putting out the best content for our curriculum?
Yeah, sure, Nakta. So, like, we do an array of things to make sure of this. So, starting with, we have a very research-driven approach to ensure the quality of our curriculum. To begin with, we have combined extensive research with our years of expertise in interview prep to create a strong rubrics to evaluate all curriculum content created by our instructor or subject matter experts. So, what makes us different from others is we provide our curriculum as a toolbox to our learners. So, for any unseen problem that they encounter, they can pick the right tool, which is our coding or power pattern, from the toolbox and operate that. So, using one tool, they should be able to operate a class of problems that are supposed to be solved by that particular tool. So our research-driven approach extends further into the core of the curriculum, where we spend a lot of time consulting other successful engineers at MANG companies and other engineers aspiring to work at MANG. So it's a two-way approach that we follow to ensure that our curriculum does what we intend for our students. So in 8 years of being in business, today we have around 500 instructors from top tier companies in the US. So some may say that it's too less, and some may say that it's an incredible number. However, we have a strong sourcing, filtering, and selection process at IK, which is again research driven, and we believe it's okay to take time and get it 100% right than moving too fast and getting it wrong. So as said, we source top quality MANG engineers in the first place. Those filter engineers go through our content extensively, and they align their thought process based on our content and coding patterns. Before taking the actual session, they do a dry run of their content recovery with our alumni. Based on the feedback we received in the training session, we allow them to take actual sessions. So post live class, we do a detailed analysis of the recording of that class. For the same, we have a very strong rubric. We project the video recording on every dimension of the rubric and share this feedback along with feedback to the instructor so that the instructor consistently delivers high quality live class. So this is how we make sure we are in the direction of creating high quality content for our learners.
Thank you, Chandan. So it's great hearing how we filter our instructors and vet the curriculum content also that they create. So I'm going to shift gears a little because considering that every person in the new products and curriculum team contributes to the outcome, the final curriculum that we create, how do we ensure that we follow the same principle while hiring full-time employees for roles within the new products and the curriculum team? So Vartika, this question is for you. What are the few key traits that you look for while hiring people within the team, considering you're interviewing people regularly for these roles?
So, I think there's a need for some amount of domain expertise for sure. I mean, the ideal candidates should be having a relevant background in the domain for which we have the opening for. And something along the lines of having a very creative approach is what we definitely look for. We look for that innate spark that is there in terms of learning, in terms of exploring for sure. So, I would say that good communication skills and result driven mindset, these are the two combinations that we definitely eye for when we are shortlisting candidate, when we're interviewing them throughout the entire process. Because the entire curriculum design and entire course management is a very unique role. I mean, the one that we are having right now, it's very different from your usual PM role that we see in FANG for the tech teams. So there's so much more to learn and experience. There are so many different avenues that we look for, and one thing that we also look for is the ability to conduct thorough research and to be able to collate, multiple avenues into one curriculum, because we are looking for a lot of different type of learners and we are catering to all of them. There's a different curriculum, there's a different interview process across different teams. And so that is what we try to, put in our curriculum. And that's how it's relevant in our, I would say, the assignment round as well, where we sort of give them an assignment and give them some time to do the research and come up with a good curriculum design and outline. So definitely that is there. We also prefer folks who are versatile and adapt quickly for new, responsibilities as a product manager, because we work so closely with operations, sales, marketing, and so many other different teams, along with talking directly to the instructors as well as the students. Hence, I would say that an open mind and innovative approach is definitely the key.
Thank you, Vartika. Sandeep, what about you? What do you really, what are the unique traits, education background aside, but what do we really look for people from a professional experience point of view when we are hiring someone for the new products team?
So usually when we hire folks, yeah, as you Vartika already mentioned, that we want people who can do several things, right? One of the core aspects which we look for is their ability to actually do research and put their or distill whatever has come out of research and put it in the curriculum design. Also, one core, I would say, aspect which I look for when I hire people is just pure passion for education. That is something which I don't think we can compromise on, because no matter what edtech or even in general education company you're working for, be it for K-12 or for working professionals, be it upskilling, be it up leveling, If you don't have that in I would say the inherent passion to educate people and make people succeed in their careers, I don't think this role is going to fit them.
All right, interesting. Do we, I said, we leave education aside, but I just want to touch upon this. Do we have a strong education filter for people who we hire within the team?
Yes. So, like what we have seen, and that is also, I would say, one of the reasons why we have such a strong new products team is that we have been particular about people coming with good academic background and good academic credentials. So we usually hire folks from the top technical universities in India that consists of the IITs, the NITs, BITS Pilani, the triple ITs, and so on, right? And essentially the reason for that is we feel that only people who have gone through a very high level of education, right, who themselves have succeeded through good education, appreciate it and value it, and are really charged up to kind of like make others, right, or make it available for others to succeed in their careers. So that's something which we kind of like consider very strongly.
All right. Earlier, also, Sandeep, you mentioned that, for someone to succeed in the curriculum product manager role at IK, it's important to understand the outcome for the students, which in our case is getting them high paying jobs at top tier tech companies. So
Yeah.
let's dive a little deeper into, building a curriculum that is focused on up leveling, which is, getting a better job versus upskilling, where the outcome is learning a new skill. So what are the most significant similarities and differences between upskilling and upleveling as a curriculum?
Sure. Yeah, that's a good question, Nakita. In fact, we do have folks on the team who have kind of like been involved in developing upskilling courses in the past, and it's a slight change in certain aspects, and it's a drastic change in some of the other aspects when we talk about upleveling courses. So let me first start by talking about the differences, right? So first of all, something which we kind of like ensure to just come out with a very highly rigorous up leveling course is that we always keep tier one tech interview questions as the base of our curriculum development process, right? So to kind of like deep dive into this, what I'm referring to is writing clear and measurable learning objectives is usually the starting point of any curriculum development process. And so what we do at IK is we just don't write any kind of like general learning objectives, but rather we pick interview questions themselves as learning objectives for each and every module of our curriculum, right? So right from the beginning, we are very clear that at the end of this module, our learner should be enabled to solve this level of challenging questions, which we have got based on our research, right? The second difference, which I also want to talk about, is because we are not really trying to upskill our customers, we rarely need to teach them any concept or technology from scratch. So, let's say if you take a full stack development upskilling course, you will find assignments which require the learners to actually build an end to end application from scratch, right? So, we don't do that. We instead, our focus is on more interview relevant aspects, such as let's say the high level design of an application at the scale of a Google or an Amazon. So these are, I would say, the two most important differences which are there in an upleveling course, and how we kind of like make sure that we stick to that. But that being said, I also want to say that be it upskilling or be it upleveling or even K-12, pedagogy and engagement are crucial for the success of any edtech product. And that is where kind of like all these things converge. And some prior experience developing a course, right? An edtech course really helps people to kind of like ramp up and get used to the process easier. Yeah.
So, Sandeep, as you mentioned, like engaging content is key to like, great learning experience. And also for someone to actually go through the whole course and, complete a course, it needs to be engaging. So what do we do as, how do we make sure that we insert these engaging components into the course?
Yeah, right. So again, like engagement is very much dependent on the targeted audience. So if we were developing a course for, let's say, K-12 learners, then there is a lot of scope or a need to invest in high quality graphics and so on, right? But uh, in our case, we are targeting working professionals, many of them who have more than like 10 years of experience. So it's not really required to invest so much into graphics and things like that. Instead, what we have found is that this audience really appreciates highly interactive sessions, and that's where our focus goes into. So we make sure that each and every live class that we design is very engaging in nature. So the instructors are trained accordingly, the slides are prepared accordingly, and so on. And even when we record videos, we try to do it in a question answer format so that it doesn't feel like a monologue, right? On top of this, we have also designed cloud based labs for some of our domain courses like cloud and site reliability engineering, where we felt that okay, there is even in the interviews there is a need for people to kind of like do things hands on within a limited time frame. So we have developed some cloud based labs for these courses, and it's a work in progress. So we would like to extend it to other domains as the time comes.
All right, nice. So, guys, in the last episode, we were talking to someone from the marketing team in the CRO and the creative team, where they have to constantly put out creative ads, right? But to put out something creative, you need a source of inspiration, right? So, what is a question for you, Vartika? What is your source of inspiration or strategy to create creative, engaging content for our curriculum? Let's specifically talk about your pod, which is, the technical program management, the product management courses.
So, I think my inspirations comes directly from my own experience for preparing for interviews. So, I remember how difficult it was to retain so much information. There are so many different companies, so many different rounds, and sort of to present it in the right way during the interviews. So that's why I feel it's important to ensure the attention of learners are there and it's maintained throughout the course, and they're able to be, feel motivated throughout the entire learning process, and they should not feel overwhelmed at all. So we use different tempo during the course, fast-paced videos. They are paired with mini mocks in the live class where the instructor calls out students and asks them interview-based question and invites their peers to share feedback so that everyone feels motivated and excited that okay, yeah, I got this right, I got this wrong, and so on. How can I improve this? And all of these FANG interview-based assignment questions are also there, which the instructor discusses a lot in the class with so much detail, and they bring out their own experience that okay, yeah, interviewed at Google this time, so this is what they were looking for, and so on. So this sort of motivates the learners and excites them that okay, yeah, I'm on the right track, this is what I need to improve, and so on. And all of this is ensured to make that the learners are sort of ready for their upcoming interviews, and whatever there is the shortcomings or whatever that they need to improve on, they definitely get a chance to do that. And I would say it's always encouraging when we talk about collaborating with FANG instructors directly and coming up with a well researched curriculum. So that's also a strategy in terms of making sure that the learners trust us with their career, and we sort of stimulate the entire interview process through the curriculum that we have designed, along with a lot of interview questions collected directly through their suggestions or collected through our research across the internet, and different experiences that the learners come up and share, and these are given to them again in the form of class discussions and assignments, so definitely that helps. And in terms of TPM and PM, I would say that the role itself is so cross functional, and it's so dynamic in nature that even the interview process is sort of challenging by a default. I mean, these folks are supposed to be excelling in technical skill as well as the behavioral aspects, because they also interact a lot with different type of teams, and they face a lot of challenges in their day-to-day job. So I would say that the idea for these courses were to include hypothetical case studies to present scenarios where some other time I would say these learners would have been in those scenarios, and what it takes to bring out the right experience and share the right framework for answering these questions. So definitely, I would say these are the 2-3 strategies that we focus on.
All right. Thank you, Vartika. So, as a company, we always, a part of our culture is always placing the customer first, right? The student first. So, considering that we have a huge responsibility as an org where thousands of students are trusting us with their aspiration to up level, it's a huge responsibility, right? Because we tell you that, we'll help you get that dream job. And that's a promise that we're making. So, how do we ensure a customer first approach, in our case, a student first approach in all that we do, right from the curriculum to the experience that a student has while within the program. Sandeep, Chandan, I would love to hear from both of you.
Yeah, so sure, Nakita. So being into edtech space, so every product that we have is student centric, be it academic support or technical coaching session or test review session or mock interviews. So talking about academic support is something where we provide text-based doubt clearing to our learners. So we have a team of rated coders who understands the pain point of our student by looking at their doubt and helping them with the detailed explanation along with pointing the right resource to brush up their concepts. So technical coaching session is one-on-one doubt clearing session with our main instructor, where the instructor not only solve the doubt of the students, but also helps them with the concept so that they can extrapolate it to similar doubts in future. So we also allow certain number of mock interviews to our learner, where they can book a mock interview with our main instructor, and they'll mimic this as if it is a real interview and give you that vibe of how real interviews are conducted at top-notch companies. So at the end of this interview, the instructor provides constructive feedback to the students so that they improve on those areas and crack actual interviews. So lastly, we have a test review session where basically we provide a coding test to our learners where they'll be given 1 hour and they have to solve few coding problems in that. So once the test is over, then the student is connected to our instructor, and then the instructor basically solve those problems in that test review, so that like they'll discuss all the approaches that is possible for those problems. So yeah, these are few products that we have who are catering the needs of our students.
Sandeep, how do you think all of this helps us? Do we have a curriculum because of having a student first approach? Do you think our curriculum stands out from the rest, from all that's available in the Indian market today for interview prep?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, we always place our customer above everything else. So, just to give you an instance, like there have been cases where I give a shout out to a team member for doing some great work, and that is not very often seriously taken, rather than getting a testimonial from a learner who has made a career transition into one of these bank companies. That is like considered like a real great thing, and we really talk about it higher than any other achievement that we have done internally, right? So that's how we see it, and that has really helped the business grow and succeed despite us being bootstrapped. So how we have been able to kind of like achieve millions in revenue with a lean team which is just about 200 plus odd members is really incredible, right? And when you look at some of our competitors and other companies with the same revenue size, they have no less than 5,000 employees. So I would say a secret ingredient, or I would say a decision which has really helped achieve this is we always try to hire the best and ensure that we create growth opportunities for them while they enable thousands of learners achieve their dream careers, uh, particularly in tier one tech companies. And to add to this, something which I'm really proud of is that the core new products team has seen zero attrition over the last 1.5 years.
Wow, really? I didn't know that. Interesting. Okay, so I'm going to do a recap and so ask you a question about that. So Sandeep, you mentioned that we look for people who have like a passion for education, and we look for people who come from great education backgrounds because then they appreciate education. So let's shift gears and talk specifically about the new products and curriculum team, what you all do within the team. So, and Vartika, you mentioned that we look to hire people who have a natural bend to constantly learning, or who find new ways to upskill themselves or learn new things that could in turn help the team. So how do you all as a team, all three of you, how do you all collectively ensure that learning is constantly happening within the team? Do you all have a fun way to learn? Is this a weekly cadence where you all make sure you all spend some time to do something where you all are exchanging knowledge? What do you all do to make sure that you're constantly learning? Vartika, do you want to take that?
Yeah, so definitely. I think there are different ways in which we do that. First of all, is actually we have a lot of subscription to different learning channels and different experiences that are shared throughout, and we make sure to religiously go over it and understand if there's something changed over the past few months in terms of making sure that our curriculum is up to date. We also have a lot of talks that happen within the team of new topics that someone comes up with and shares that knowledge with the entire group. It's a very interesting session in that way that we get to experience something new. For example, one of our colleagues shared his love for football in the talk that happened, and I think I personally never knew something about football at all. And that way I think everyone collaborated together, learned a lot about football and how it goes, there are a lot of people who collaborated on that. We also have groups where we talk to directly to the learners and the potential leads that come up to our course. So we learn about their recent experiences. They tell us that, okay, I've had this recent round and this is what happened, this is what they asked. And that's how we sort of learn every day that, okay, this is what is changing. The companies are shifting gear to these many topics. Are these topics present in our interview process or in the curriculum that we have, and how do we make sure it's reflected? And I think the major thing is the SMEs that we have, the that entire bucket that we have. We regularly converse with them on a weekly basis, and we get to learn a lot from them in terms of what is there and what is expected, what is not, what is the opening status, and what kind of leads and learners they're looking for. And that brings up to a lot of, I think, active as well as passive learning. And
Yeah.
I think there's a good culture of sharing ideas and shouting everyone out in terms of great work that they do over Discord and Google Meet. And I think everyone meets often to do that.
Nice. So tell me a little more about that. So you all shout out to people on Discord for, so it's like a thing that you all make sure you all do actively.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's a sort of a weekly, religious for us that, okay, we have to, find someone out who has done major work. And in fact, it's some sort of teasing or that, okay, you're raising bar for us and now we have to work that hard as well. So it's fun in that way that we bring out the best in each other.
Awesome. Thank you so much, guys. But before I let you all go, you all have to tell me something fun about the new products team. It cannot be all work and all the serious good stuff that you all do. What do you all do for fun? Anyone can go. Sandeep, Chandan. Sandeep, you're on mute.
Oh, sorry. So, Nakita, I am not sure whether I'm the right person to talk about that because I have not been added to many of the Discord channels which these guys generally talk about the fun
Yeah.
stuff. So, I will let Vartika probably talk about that.
Yeah, Vartika.
I think recently this has started with the World Cup, I think, and Sandeep is in that group where the match is going on and you pick up the mobile phone and there are like 500 notifications. Everyone is talking about every single ball that is happening. So that's fun to actually
Damn
sit,
cool.
parts away and watch the match together.
Damn cool. Vartika, do you want to tell us something about Sandeep that the rest of us in the org don't know?
Is
Like
it
an
supposed to
internal
be
team
funny?
joke. Yeah, anything that it can be funny, anything that Sandeep did that we don't know about. Sandeep, you'll get the chance to.
I think one thing that we all have noticed is that Sandeep and Sandeep's maid have a very unique relation. That every time Sandeep is late to the meeting or is absent, it's because his maid has bailed on him and he has to take care of the work. So that's very funny for everyone. That okay, yeah, today also Sandeep's maid is not there, so that's why he's running late and so on.
Sandeep, do you want to tell us something about Vartika and Chandan?
Uh, that's interesting. So, um, okay, I will have to think about it. So something which you guys don't know. Um, I believe that's the thing, right, Nakita? The fun
Yeah,
is
yeah.
in.
What we don't know, and like something that Vartika's done. You're in more meetings with her than we are, so yeah.
I mean, okay, so Vartika, making Vartika switch on the camera requires tons of effort. So Nakita, I think you have done a great job already because you have somehow made sure that Vartika switched on the camera and did this interview. Um Regarding Chandan, okay, I've had limited conversations with Chandan, but then and so that's why maybe the what I have observed about him might be known to others as well. But I have seen that okay, Chandan always kind of will have 10 points to talk about, right? So no matter what question is thrown at Chandan, he will have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Right. So that is something which I have like seen about Chandan, and I really appreciate about him as well.
Awesome. Thank you so much, guys, for taking the time out to do this.